Patreon, this is for you. I waited. I saw it happen earlier behind me and I wanted to do it again. This is why we have cool lighting because, hi, this is me, but this is me in show mode.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's just
I guess
the way I have my display set up or whatever, but you literally look like on the Zoom call, all I can see is your face and your beard. Like I can't see anything. I could see a glimmer of your microphone and your headrest behind you, but that's about it. It's pretty funny. Hey, there's your arms.
I have arms now. Dude, I got to tell you, that purple preset is the one.
Yeah, it really is.
I spent so much time editing thumbnails and things. Like the 3 weeks you had, whatever that green was, just did not work. It's so bad, bro. It was tough.
Well, here we are with the correct colors and everything.
Yeah. I think it might have maybe it was just brighter overall, or maybe something about the way green comes through on the camera. It just like everything had a green tinge to it. Not very flattering.
Yeah, and not in a good way. Yeah.
So
well, I had to try. I was trying it, whatever. Here we are. We make mistakes and we learn.
Love it. Hey, I have a show and tell item actually.
Nice.
While we're talking to Patreon, I'm currently drinking. You heard of this?
Stillers?
Stillers.
I have not. Enlighten me.
Not sponsored. Ben Stiller started a little soda company, apparently.
Of course he did.
I just ran across it, so I had to try it. I'm going to say I don't like any of it.
Huh.
However, for the reasons I don't like it, I actually think there's a lot of people who will like it. And also I pay good money for it, so you better bet I'm drinking it.
Yeah.
It's, I guess their goal was kind of just to set out, making soda like it was made a very long time ago. Just really old school ingredients. Of course, all natural ingredients.
Yeah.
But it's not very sweet. You can taste very archetypal base flavors in it.
So
this one's lemon lime.
So a little bit more like a sparkling water or something than a soda.
A lot closer to a sparkling water, I would say, than a soda. The root beer is the most interesting one because you can taste. Oh gosh, what's the root they use in root beer?
Sarsaparilla.
I'm totally blank. Maybe that's it. They definitely. I'd have to go look at the ingredients on the back of the can, but you can taste the herbs and spices and the sarsaparilla and whatever roots they use. It tastes more like that than it tastes like any modern root beer. It's a very almost. It almost reminds me of if a flavored sparkling water was combined with a probiotic or something. That's the vibe I get.
Oh, so that sounds like
which
there's a
probably
couple brands
isn't
that do that.
How their marketing team would prefer that I talk about it.
Yeah, there's a couple sodas that are like that though, like Poppy, and I know there's another one, but
Lollipop I like a lot.
That's the only one that comes up in my mind.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm just I didn't officially quit drinking. I just kind of stopped buying beer, and I've just been occasionally having I've just been buying lots of sparkling water. I've got 3 different varieties right now, but what I have been enjoying are these large bottles of Topo Chico with lime from Costco. And I've been
when you say large, how much larger is that than a standard?
This is 500 milliliters. So
much like Godzilla, it's hard to tell the scale from here,
Yeah, this is slightly larger than a bottle of Mexican Coke, I would say, if that helps reference.
Okay.
But what I've been doing lately is drinking this down to just past the lime and then filling it back up with gin and just kind of having a very large gin and tonic that I sip for a few hours. I see. That's pretty fun.
I recently discovered Peach Crush is a thing.
Ooh.
I don't know if it's new or new to the area, or I don't know. It is very good.
Interesting.
And
I want to try that.
I have some of that like pineapple and strawberry Bacardi around, and I like mixing that with different sodas and just seeing what flavor combinations work the best. But I was thinking about it, I'm like, typically you don't see peach combined with a lot of things.
No.
It's usually kind of like solo, you know? But it
peach and
pretty well.
Like raspberry maybe, but
like, or maybe even like a peach and blueberry maybe could work. But usually it's a cobbler rather than a pie, you know what I mean? Where berries are like always pie territory.
Yeah, but we just went from drinks to pie very quick.
Speaking of pie.
Title. Yeah, dude, it's pumpkin pie for breakfast season, baby.
This is still Patreon. I can't be a title. It took me 2.5 hours to snowball the driveway today.
Woof.
Yeah. So
we got a decent amount of snow.
I slept way too in, and then I went out there, and then I was like, guys, it'll take maybe an hour. It was like 2:30 by the time I got in the shower. So by the time I was contemplating, like, watching this movie today, like, my day was gone. It was already like 5. I'm like, dude, how is it 5 p.m.? I've done barely anything today. It's just gone.
It's dark already.
Yeah. Well, it's dark in here all the time. I got blackout curtains, so I just don't need the sun, you know?
I do, unfortunately.
I'm immune. I'm immune to the need for the sun.
I wish I wasn't.
Don't worry, I have other flaws. I'll take this win.
Oh,
should we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the one about Godzilla movies. I'm glad you didn't point it out until now. We just did our little Patreon thing, but I wanted to just take a second and point out the hat that my wife got me at the Christmas market this weekend.
That's pretty fire.
It is. I'm loving it. Yeehaw.
It seems on brand.
It's kind of funny. Anytime I don't know when it started or how, but every time we go over kind of a large bump in the car, Evie goes, yeehaw, from the back seat. It's the best.
Amazing.
Like over train tracks or whatever. Yeah, it's the best. So, for real this time, welcome to the one about Godzilla movies. I'm Caleb. That's Brian. And we are here to talk about another movie in the Godzilla franchise. This one timed very, very interestingly to the birth of another celestial being in the year 1992. We're talking about Godzilla versus Mothra, or Godzilla and Mothra, the Battle for Earth, depending on... I see a lot of people call it that. But anyways, this movie came out when, Brian?
I want to say it was December 12th, which would make it 4 days before I was born.
Nice.
Very, very close to my birthday.
Not to blow your OPSEC or anything, but yeah, that's neat.
Did you call me a celestial being? Is that,
dude? We're all made of stardust.
I was just gonna blow past that?
We're all made of stardust. Do you not know this?
I mean,
is it?
I know my key light is a little bright, but
okay.
Luminous beings are we?
No, I'm not talking about the Star Trek. I'm talking about... I guess it's time for science lesson with Caleb again. Last time it was nitrogen and all that kind of stuff.
Are you just trying to rage bait all the nerddoms?
So I say that we're celestial beings and that you are a celestial being because we are literally made of stardust. Iron that is in our blood, iron is not a naturally occurring element on Earth. It was deposited.
You haven't drank water from my tap.
By meteorites.
Well water, am I right?
Anyways, it was deposited by meteorites like forever ago. And then like that then worked its way into like us. But like iron doesn't just naturally occur on Earth. So, and it's made by stars dying. So it's like one of the minerals that results from a star dying and exploding. The more you know. Dang it! I just deleted that clip, dude. I gotta go get it out of the trash.
You're gonna need that one.
I'm gonna need it a lot.
You're gonna need that one. Yeah, this is absolutely why our episodes are so long, which is a pro.
It really is.
I'm saying it's a pro.
So yeah,
should we summarize?
You're a celestial being because you were made of stardust, and that is why I said that. So since it is closer to your birthday than it is to mine, you should go ahead and summarize this.
Okay. I will say, was kind of a little thrown by like the titling for this film. So the version that we watched appears to be like an American digital release or American Blu-ray release, that kind of a thing. Because the opening credits were in English and like the title of the movie when it came up was all in English.
All good. Continue.
Well, there's our reel for Instagram.
Tippy toe lemon tree.
Thank you. I have no idea what just happened, but I'm all for it. Anyways, the title that came up in the movie was in English, and it did say Godzilla and Mothra, The Battle for Earth, which if you go to IMDb is what it shows up as the English title. However, historically speaking, and in many other places, including Letterboxd, which we both use to rate these movies, and you can find our reviews and stuff, it's listed as Godzilla versus Mothra, which is technically the transliterated English version of the Japanese title, which is it. In Japanese, it's literally titled Godzilla versus Mothra.
Yeah.
Which is a shorter title. I like the shorter ones myself.
Shorter title. I was thinking about this earlier. What I've been learning about, I've been kind of learning Japanese. I don't want to say I've been learning Japanese. That's how like little I've been learning it. But from what I've started to understand is that there are like one word can mean 17 different things. And I think that's part of
context.
Yeah. And I think that's part of why why the title got transliterated so weird, because or I could be completely wrong. But anyways, that was just a thought that crossed my mind.
Well, the American titles are always like longer or different.
True. Yeah.
It's seemed. And they don't always seem to say the same thing. I don't know. Anyways, Godzilla versus Mothra is what I'm calling it.
Sure.
At least that's how it is on Letterboxd. All the posters I've seen say that. So in this movie, a meteor impact triggers climate disruptions and awakens both Godzilla and an ancient kaiju named Battra, Earth's dark protector created to punish environmental harm. This is in the Mothra lore. Treasure hunter Takuya, his ex-wife Masako, and government agent Ando discover the cosmos. They are sort of the twins who are Mothra's friends, priestesses, singers. They're not really called priestesses in this film, but it's the same as like the twins that are in old Mothra films. And they reveal that Battra and Mothra were once twin guardians meant to maintain Earth's balance. When Mothra hatches and Godzilla returns, Battra, I think that's how you say it, initially fights Mothra, but shifts his mission upon realizing Godzilla poses the greater danger. In Yokohama, Mothra and Battra team up to stop Godzilla, defeating him at great cost. Battra perishes in the battle, and Mothra carries his body into space, honoring their shared duty to protect the planet. So, yeah.
So there it is.
I don't remember seeing Battra being carried into space. I remember Mothra flying into space.
Yeah, I don't.
Is it possible my ChatGPT summary got that wrong?
I think
I don't remember.
So. Yeah, so I don't remember.
The movie definitely ends on Mothra flying into space.
Yes.
So I remember seeing Godzilla and Battra falling into the ocean.
That's
at the end.
That's what I remember as well.
So that's how I would say it ends.
Yeah, I have
That's basically the plot.
Like the Cosmos, they like fly away and land on her little front antenna thing, and then off into space.
Start hovering and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, have we seen Mothra fly into space before? I don't think so.
No.
So it appears to be a more space-oriented mythos for Mothra than maybe the old one, which was more... There's like a temple and priestesses and an island where they worship Mothra and that whole thing.
Yeah. And
this appears to be a different thing.
I feel like it might have been something that the twins, aka the Cosmos, maybe they say that kind of near the beginning of their introduction, like when they're introduced earlier in the film, may say something about that, like during the Legend of Battra or whatever, that they came from, that they're like,
could be
from space or whatever. They're celestial beings. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the movie.
Yeah,
so,
let's. I kind of.
This is one of your favorites, right?
It is, and
you were saying last time.
I just like Mothra stuff in general, and I was just kind of reminded of why I like this movie as I watched it a little bit ago here. But I just kind of wrote some stuff down like almost kind of like you do, that kind of just follows the flow of the movie, so we can just kind of talk through it back and forth or whatever. But like. Yeah. For me, what stood out right at the top of the movie was this, like, it was like Toho trying to do a Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, the strong Indiana Jones opener for sure.
Which is like
couple Indiana Jones things.
Two Steven Spielberg references, 2 films in a row. Like,
true. Yeah, we have sort of like the investigating ancient temple, grabbing artifacts and escaping from falling dust and things. Mm-hmm. That whole kind of a trope. Not too much further into the movie, we have a rope bridge mishap. It's very reminiscent of Temple of Doom. Yep. So that's 2. And I mean, I'm pretty sure all 3 of the first Indiana Jones movies have been out at this point, so clearly a Western influence, but really no other thing to compare it to really at this point in 1992. I think it's got to be Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
we don't have the Mummy. We don't have other things like that.
No, not yet. It's very interesting to see them like just so, and like this isn't the first film that they've done, but just like so blatantly take elements of Western films or whatever and just be like, we're going to try and use, like we've had a couple films that have felt like Bond films or a little bit, or, like they're trying to set that tone with the villains or the location or whatever. So yeah, it's just kind of cool to like, as we move through it, see them kind of follow what was big in Western culture alongside their movies. So yeah, I feel like this movie is like, it's like it was kind of a remake of the 60s one, or they just like there were a lot of like plot points reused from the 64 movie.
I didn't notice that.
The biggest one for me was the egg is found, and then some millionaire tries to steal it and ends up stealing the twins to use as an attraction to make money. And then Mothra is hell-bent on getting them back.
Yeah.
That is the exact same plot line from the 64 movie.
Yeah, I thought my thinking around that was just when we encounter that, like, of course, miniature people who show up are immediately going to be exploitation attempt.
Yeah.
Because of how people are.
And I think
so as soon as they showed up, I'm like, of course. It doesn't matter what decade it is. Like, someone's going to try and, like, turn it into a sideshow situation.
Millionaire is going to try and turn it into...
The circus, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that aspect of course, similar.
Yeah. But so take me through your first couple, like what stood out for you at the top of the film?
Yeah, so, I mean, we have that Indiana Jones stuff kind of right off the bat. It was very Raiders of the Lost Ark vibes. Briefly, we have this guy who, I guess, gets in trouble taking this artifact, and then this vague organization is trying to basically hire him to go scope out what he doesn't know at the time, but ends up being Infant Island, which is where Mothra's egg is. And being sent to, I think they're going after the egg, right? Is there any other reason they're there?
It was uncovered because of like construction they're doing.
That might have been the only reason they were going there.
Yeah.
But they were trying to sell him on doing it, and there's like this tension because for some reason his ex-wife is one of the other people going on the mission, and he doesn't want to do it. He says no, and then eventually he ends up going. But they won't tell him where they're going or like what the location actually is because they're like trying to keep it a secret, I guess. And I'm pretty sure, at least this was in the subtitles, it's something about Indonesia. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. I'm correct on that?
Yes.
So I put that in by maybe things to change notes because I, of course, pulled up Google Maps. I was like, Indonesia? It's like, look it up because they went there on like not that big of a boat. And like if you're heading towards Indonesia from Japan, you're going to hit Taiwan and the Philippines long before you hit Indonesia. It's like quite a distance away. So that didn't make any sense to me. Like, make it be like a local island or something. I don't know. Like, if you're going to name Indonesia, make it make sense. And then later in the movie, they mention the Philippines contextually.
Well, yeah, because that's where that comet lands.
In the context of the Philippines being the closest thing to Japan, which is kind of true, but Indonesia's further than the Philippines.
Right, but I think the comet landed on the Indonesian like the fault between Indonesia and the Philippines. And then the egg was discovered in Indonesia, and they were like, from what I could tell, almost like rabbit trail following it a little bit. Like,
they would have needed a bigger boat and a lot of time to get there.
You're gonna need a bigger boat, boys.
Yeah. So my thing is like, maybe just you don't need to say Indonesia. Just say you're going to this island and it's a secret island, and then go there in your small boat. Just, I don't know. Just didn't make any sense. Like if you're gonna name real places and not like fictional places, like it should make sense.
Yeah. Or either that or give them a bigger boat. Like. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, because I wonder, I wonder if that's a difference in how we think today, a little bit more modern, like, I don't know, like most people had a globe or something maybe, but like we just have access to a map like that, in 12 different ways on our phones. Whereas maybe somebody watching a movie, I don't know. I don't know. I'm saying,
Caleb, this was 1992.
That's fair.
They had maps in 1992.
They definitely had maps and the internet even.
This is not the 1400s.
Bit. Yeah, you're right. All right.
People know where things are.
Thanks.
Not to shoot you down. I'm like,
no, you're totally right. I was totally
I'm not that old.
No.
I know I was born in 1992, but I think there was maps when I was born.
Back in my day.
They weren't on a schooner dodging pirate ships.
I was born in the 1900s.
Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of weird to me. I think before they even go to the islands, something that I liked was the return of Akira Takarada, a legacy Godzilla film guy. He was in, I'm pulling it up. He was in from the movies we have talked about. I'm going to do it from memory while I'm still pulling it up. He was in the original Godzilla. He was in the original Mothra versus Godzilla. Nice connection. Of course, a different character, but he was in Astro Monster. He was in Ibira Horror of the Deep. He was one of the guys in Astro Monster who was like piloting that spaceship up to the moon or whatever they were going.
Yes. Yep.
He was one of those two guys. He's been at least 3 or 4.
And he was
I think maybe just 4 of them. In the Showa era.
Yeah.
And he just played a sort of a side role in this movie here in the Heisei-era. So cool to see him back. I take him over the eye patch guy like 40,000 times.
Always.
But the fact that that guy played multiple roles across the movies, not only that, but that at least two of them, he was wearing an eye patch. Like, really?
It's in his contract.
Come on.
It's in his contract.
I know there's a logo on the eye patch and it looks different, but let's be a little more inventive.
No. He
So anyways,
has
they
to
go to
wear,
the island.
It's a whole thing. Just he has to wear the eye patch.
They go to the island and they find the egg. And then there's some guys from the anti-environmental company who's building things and is the bad guys of the film, so to speak.
Montemaru or
It's a
whatever it was.
little vague. There's just some guys being over the top bad guys, and they want to bring the egg back because they're evil rich businessman guys and they want to profit off of everything, and that's the bad guys.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of funny.
So that process
like,
starts.
I think it's just kind of based on, I don't know, like what's going on in the world right now, but I got very Donald Trump vibes from the dude that was supposed to be the CEO of Montemaru or whatever. Like, there's the scene where the people are protesting them doing the building on Mount Fuji, and he comes through in his Mercedes just like honking the horn, and then when he talks to his dude about it, he's like, who are those annoying people out front? And they're like, oh, they're just some, and the guy goes, well, they won't interfere, and he's like, yeah, of course they won't, that's what I pay you for, and blah blah blah, like, just and then later when he's talking about getting the cosmos and using them to make money, he's just all like like very
like the bad guys, and the messaging in the film was clear.
Very 90s.
We'll say that. Very over the head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have kind of like general things that I liked just kind of throughout. I didn't think the plot of this movie was very strong, and that's just me. So most of my notes are like detailed things in the movie.
Yeah. For me, I think this used to be one of my favorites, and I think I want to change it. And I think like it was a favorite because I just like Mothra.
Yeah.
I love Mothra a lot, but like you said, the story's okay. It was another attempt of Toho trying to get more women and children to attend their movies. They had seen, that like those were the majority of the people going to movies, and so they wanted to just have this kind of like family-centered story. A kid is one of the main characters. Like,
I think they did a poll about it too, and we're getting kind of some data results that Mothra is kind of like a fan favorite.
Yeah, and then like people were kind of tired of like it always being a brand new monster every single time that there was a fight, and so that was kind of why Heisei-era started to bring back some of the classics.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I just kind of thought it was cool to see. It's cool to watch these. A lot of my takeaway points are, like you said, details, but also just like how this film and some of these, like I've noticed it in a couple recent films as well, of just like Legendary is borrowing from these movies quite a bit for their movies, but not in like a direct like copy paste way, in a way that Toho did. For me, the first thing that stood out as like they like, here's where Legendary did some homework and like took this idea, was that company or whatever says that they want the egg. The dude wants the egg because he wants to make an attraction out of it, and he sent them to the island, and they've confirmed that it exists, and he goes, great, bring it back to Japan. And the dude that's like his aide or whatever is like, well, yeah, I mean, how are we gonna get it back and all this stuff? But like, it makes sense to take it back to Japan instead of just letting it rot out here in the wild or whatever. Like, it'll be better taken care of by these people or whatever. And so they all of a sudden are transporting this thing on this custom transport ship. And the fight in the water made me think of the fight with Kong when they're transporting Kong. They've just got him like tied down on the ship, right? And then Godzilla shows up.
Yep.
I did have a note about, and it's kind of like timing in general. A couple points in the film stood out to me, and this was the first one. So Godzilla appears here, and he's moving for the ship where the egg is. And then the one dude says that he's like, we have to cut the egg free from the ship or else we're going to get caught up in the middle of this too. And the dude from the corporation says, no, we can't. That's not what the corporation wants. We have to. And like, so it's this really urgent thing, but it's not so urgent that they can't spend 4 minutes arguing about it and having a fist fight. But what is Godzilla doing while that is happening? Is he just standing there watching? Because he was right there.
Standing in the middle of the ocean,
right.
And I guess his feet are touching.
Well, yeah, like he's using his tail, obviously. It's just like a propeller. No.
So yeah, spinning in a circle. Amazing.
But like, this is something that's dealt with in the legendary films because it's part of like I think that is something that has evolved as part of modern action sci-fi storytelling, is that like the pace is pretty quick. That's an American thing as well, but just like what was happening in the 5 minutes from, hey, we need to cut the boat free. Maybe it wasn't 5 minutes. Maybe it was only 3 minutes. But what is happening with Godzilla while they're having a fist fight and a conversation about this on the deck? Trying to cut the egg free or whatever. Like,
something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that kind of thing took me out of it a little bit. But then,
well, I think we should talk about, so that underwater fighting stuff was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, I have that up. That was like the next 4 or 5 things in my notes.
Same, yeah. But
yeah, that fight scene in general, though, between like Godzilla and Mothra, like the way Mothra is like hiding behind the ship and doing they did that in the first Mothra film too, where like Mothra would duck behind a rock and then pop out and shoot him with webs, and then pop behind a rock. They were doing that again behind the ship, and he just blew that up eventually. Like, and I really loved that it was like, you know, the boat is moving and then it's like something huge is approaching. We get like this becomes a Godzilla trope forever of just like all of a sudden he's on the radar and holy crap, what is that?
The dorsal fins.
Yeah, dorsal fins. We get the blue flash of lightning and then he's just up out of the water. Bum, 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 bum. So great. Classic entrance.
Yeah.
And then, but like right after they begin fighting, like she's biting his tail or whatever, I heard the Mothra theme, and they like pepper it into the score. I thought the score of this movie was really great. It's one of my like the ones that I've noticed the most recently of just like, wow, this was like a like an improvement to the music that is supporting the film. But like when they get to Infant Island and discover the egg, first off, there's just a little hint in the score of that theme, the do-do-do-do. And then it's the same thing when they're fighting, that like the song that the twins sing.
The Mothra theme, I don't know very well, so I didn't notice it.
It's the song that
I was noticing in the music that there is kind of 2 Godzilla themes. They tend to just kind of alternate between them when they don't know what else to do. I was just thinking, like man, like we need more music that is recognizable Godzilla themes. So there's more to or maybe some original stuff, because it was just kind of going between the that one and the those are, it just literally through a whole section of the fight at the end, it was just alternating between those two themes. I'm like, I don't know, you gotta somehow get away from that somehow, so it's literally not just copy paste back and forth. But
it's an evolution of it beyond the, like, because there was that whole period in the 60s where it was weird like funk jazz and tropical music and like, you know.
Yeah, that was weird.
So at least and I think it was a couple movies ago, you said something about the influence of John Williams, right? Or whatever. Like,
I was hearing some John Williams stuff. Not in this one, though.
Not in this one, but like the influence of like cinematic music, his influence on cinematic music and using strings, orchestral arrangements, like in the emotion that comes from huge string swells and stuff like that. Like, it's kind of like he left his mark on using that in film in a big way that it just kind of like translated everywhere almost, not instantly, but pretty quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's pause here for station identification, and then we're going to talk about fight scenes, because there's 3 pretty good fight scenes in this movie. So we'll be right back.
Oh, you're back. Cool. So we should talk about it's a weird face. It's underwater fighting.
Yeah.
I thought there's some really cool stuff in there. I liked that we were kind of seeing like glow of effects even from above the water. It's kind of like you can kind of see there's something going on down there.
Because Battra shows up at this one as well.
They're all there, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just something I don't think we've seen, but they're fighting underwater. And there's a whole lot of like drawn on effects and like the electricity, all that kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, well, there was a little bit of underwater fighting in Terror of Mechagodzilla. We had the scenes with like whatever that weird other monster was when it like attacked the submarine, and
yeah, but like Kaiju v Kaiju,
right? This is the first
one, right?
Kaiju v Kaiju underwater. The thing that I had written down about these fight scenes too was like, we're very up close and personal with the kaiju in these fight scenes, like right up on Godzilla's face, or like even in the water. There's like, we're closer to the monsters and they're fighting in general, cutting between close-ups of them than we have been before. I think like it's just like more detail of the suits. And then
the emotion of it, it kind of made me wonder how they were shooting it. I saw there was like all of those bubbles and everything. I felt like it was kind of double-edged sword. I suspect they were shooting this dry for wet, like some kind of a big tank with a lot of bubbles between the camera and the fighting.
Yeah.
To make it look underwater, but like actually it's dry behind the tank. I suspect that's how they were doing it. So it did make it look like it was underwater. However, I think the bubbles were like so much, it was kind of hard to see what was going on. So like there's just a bit of a lack of clarity.
Yeah.
It's kind of vague what was happening in the fight.
Well, there was like, there's that style of fight, and I think they were trying to like communicate that there was that like that fault opening that ended up swallowing the two of them at the end of that fight. But yeah, just way overused, I think, too much. Because they kept showing, like, it would cut back to that, like, it was, like, glowing red and then, like, a whole, like, a big curtain of bubbles, basically. It was like they'd cut to that and then back to the shot and then, or, the fight. And then, but I also really appreciated how good the fighting looked when they were still above water, but in the water. Like, those shots close up. So there's, like, water splashing around, and we've got fighting going on between the two of them. We've had that style of fighting, but not that close up. Like they were like right up with them with the cameras, or maybe they're just using really, like longer glass now or something. But
there's a lot of Battra just like whipping his head out of the water and the water flying. There's a lot of that.
yeah.
One thing I noticed they were messing around with like wet effects on the sound effects they were using when they were underwater. So it was like all the same sounds, the roars, whatever, all that. But they're definitely doing reverb stuff and like other weirdness. I don't think they arrived.
I don't either.
One thing I noticed is they put a flanger on everything, and I was like, I appreciate that you did something different, so that
just don't know if
distinguished
that
from
was
above. I don't think the flanger is the move.
Yeah.
But I did notice that because I think it was like a stereo flanger. You can kind of hear a bit of the width of a mile sound that like all of a sudden has like this weird movement to it. But it sounded more like, something. It sounded metallic. Flanger's weird, man. I mean, you got to use it sparingly. So
sparingly
with the fuzz pedal and Led Zeppelin riffs, sure. I don't know about Godzilla's roar. I don't think it needs to be run through a flanger.
Somebody showed them Eddie Van Halen, and they were like, "We ought to try this."
Yeah, it was interesting.
Another thing that kind of reminded me of something in a Legendary movie was was Mothra trying to convince Godzilla to fight with her against Battra initially. Kind of reminded me of like when Kong comes up to the desert in...
Was that when there was a comment about like, I think they're trying to communicate with each other or something? I feel like there was a comment about that.
No, that was later on at the end of the film when Mothra and Battra are talking to each other before she starts her magic thing between them to heal Battra. But yeah, it just was like she was trying to, I don't know, it just reminded me of that Kong fight in the new, whatever it was, Godzilla vs. Kong, New Empire or whatever, where he goes up to the desert to intentionally lure Godzilla out and is trying to like, I don't want to fight you, I need your help kind of thing. Just an attempt at that. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So we
do see Mothra and larval form doing some swimming in this movie. Mm-hmm. Definitely there a lot more after that fight, kind of heading toward land and stuff. I don't think we've seen that.
We have, but not a whole lot of it. Just like basically like coming out of the water onto land kind of deal. But it was never a like large scale sea traversal kind of thing. And if we do end up watching the rebirth of Mothra videos or videos, how
you can call them videos. They're not that good, right?
We will see Mothra do a lot of swimming. Oh, dude, speaking of Mothra and movement, I noticed, do you remember the first time we talked about Mothra, I had kind of pointed out that I thought one of the models had like a wheel in the chest or whatever for moving across the ground that kind of helped it with the like movement.
I don't remember talking about it. I know they had wheels.
Yeah.
The larva.
I saw like a control umbilical cord coming out the back of Mothra in one scene, like an overhead shot through the city kind of thing, just for like a split second before they cut to like a front shot. But
nice. It's like the Starbucks cup of 1992.
What does that mean?
Deep cut.
I don't know if
I want to say that was a Game of Thrones biff.
Oh,
something visible.
Yeah.
Or was that the car in the background? No, I think car in the background is Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, you're right. It's the Starbucks cup in
right. It was, and they had to like CG it out later or something because they didn't catch it or something. I don't remember. It's kind of funny. These things happen.
Continuity.
At some point, the Cosmos twins, we'll call them. They just start singing a new song to get Mothra to come to the city. Mm-hmm. It's when they're in the businessman office, I think.
Yeah, so after they've been captured because the dude couldn't get the egg, and they I can't remember if he like ordered them to bring the twins to him or if it was like no because they were discussing
the third member of their
about,
party took him.
Yeah, that's right.
To the company. So.
Yeah, you're right. Kind of took him and
Yeah,
stole
because
him.
Akira and his ex-wife or whatever were like having dinner or something, and they got back and like they were gone. And they're like,
right.
The other guy, like I forget his name. Like he took him.
Yeah.
He took him to the business office.
Yeah.
That's how they got there. But
so then,
yeah, they got a whole song.
They got a whole song. That's Mothra's theme. And it's a different song,
a new one,
but the initial melody
Different
is
song.
the same. Like the words are different, but that like weird
Starts with da-da-da-da.
Yeah, that.
And then it's kind of different after that.
Yeah.
So it was long. Than I expected.
Longer, but
A lot of words. A lot of words.
I appreciated this time that it was
Like the composition, though.
Yeah, the composition was great. There was a like cinematic score to it, or I'm sorry, like a why do I keep saying cinematic when I mean symphonic? But strings and stuff, a score with it.
Got it.
And I thought that like having them singing that while Mothra is tearing down the city that she's attacking to come and get the cosmos was really cool, really eerie. But they're singing for her to come save them, and she's traveled across the sea and has now made land in Japan and is tearing down buildings, and it's still them singing this like haunting song. I thought that was so cool.
Destroying the city.
Yeah. So the Akira and they somehow pick up Mickey again along the way. She's been like here and there in this film. She's the one with telekinetic powers. They have her in the car with them.
When is this?
Who's the girl with telekinetic powers that is all of a sudden like, I can hear their song? Remember,
Like
because
the little girl?
It isn't the little girl, is it? No, I thought it was Mickey.
I don't remember this plot point.
So they find that they are stolen and they need to go find the twins. And they're driving, and all of a sudden a girl in the car goes, wait, turn off the radio. I can hear it. And she shuts her eyes and she goes, I can hear their song. We need to go this way. She like points her hand, and they turn the car, and they eventually arrive at the office bill or the like wherever it was that the twins were being held. And Mothra is
Did I black out in the middle of this movie?
Mothra is tearing the city down. And
I remember that.
they eventually are like, well, we need to get to the girls to a place where Mothra can see them so that they can talk to her and say like, hey, we're safe now. You can stop destroying everything. And they do that. They put them up in a window, and the Cosmos talk to Mothra, and Mothra says, thank you, or whatever, and like turns around
Like
to
stop by the window.
Yeah, stop by the, and then turns around to leave.
Destroy some more.
Yeah, because she's a giant.
Oops.
Yeah, like whatever. But that's how we got there. Like that was how they found her, was the girl with telekinetic powers, who I'm almost positive was Mickey, the same girl from the last two movies.
Yeah, I just remember Akira's character and his ex-wife and their daughter,
right?
Just kind of just being in like the rest of the film,
Right. But
I don't remember anyone else.
it was when they went to find they had met up. His ex-wife had met up with his daughter, and then the other dude, and Mickey.
At the airport.
Mickey worked for whatever organization that they were, like the Japanese Special Defense Force or whatever. She was with those people. She got in a car with them to go help find the cosmos, because she's the one that could later in the film sense Godzilla was coming too. She like says it out of nowhere. She's like, "Oh, Godzilla," and then he just like appears. But Oh yeah, so
Maybe it was Mickey.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it is Mickey. And they picked it, because she met them at the airport. So they use her telekinetic powers to find where the cosmos is, and they go up to this floor in an elevator.
Go up to the top.
The daughter gets off the elevator and sees her dad, and then the ex-wife comes out, and they have that whole moment about like, her dad. The daughter's like, I don't want my dad to be a thief anymore. Blah blah blah. Like, that real heartwarming thing. And then Mickey gets off the elevator and is like, we need to go right now. Godzilla is coming.
I must have
just Mothra is coming. And
picked up on who that was.
And then somebody has the idea of like, wait, let's put them in the window and see if they'll talk to Mothra. Like, that's how they get her to stop. So that happens, and it's like, okay, Mothra almost just tore down this whole building. The military is here. We're ready. We're going to attack. Like, we've got to fight against this thing. And then she stops, turns around, knocks over a couple more buildings, and then the military opens fire on her.
Yep. Briefly. They do get stopped.
Yeah. Well, and what's crazy is like, and maybe this is just because I've seen Shin Godzilla so many times, or like, and because of the like all of the red tape that they focus on in that movie, it seemed very unlike the Japanese military to have like the dude that would give the order to fire was there on the battlefield, and not like how we saw in Shin Godzilla, where it was like that dude called another dude who went up to the prime minister eventually, kind of thing. That they're I don't know, just I think maybe that was I would do it differently kind of thing. Like, it seemed really random for that one dude on the battlefield to be like, open fire, and then they've got to like scramble and be like, hey, stop it.
They did piss off the special forces because of that scene, actually. And like the next couple films, the military is not featured. And that way they had to sort of invent a new military branch, a fake one.
Oh, really?
Because they were like, oh yeah, we don't like that, and they didn't participate in the next couple.
So I think
they came back for Godzilla 2000.
Rubbed them the wrong way. That's interesting.
Huh. But yeah, because of that specific scene.
Well, it also rubbed me the wrong way. So, I'm with the JSDF.
Yeah, literally, they were like, we're out. The twins, the Cosmos twins, are excellently composited into this film.
Yeah, dude.
We're finally into an era where digital compositing is going pretty well. 1992.
Yeah, I thought the transfer of them out of their little cage into the girl's hands, and then up onto the
still a little wobble.
Still a little wobble.
It's hard to do without like all the tools we have now, but surprisingly good for 1992 with whatever budget they were working with. Yeah. So I thought they did a good job with that. And I'm, of course, comparing to last time we saw Twins, it was like matte lines out the wazoo.
So
like very obvious.
Lines, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
it even seemed like there was a better understanding of lighting as well. Like, especially, it didn't work out so well with the transferring of the hands scene, but like just that, like they had made an attempt to make the lighting look very, very similar between the big people and them in their little box or whatever, because sometimes in a film it had
combined really well.
Yeah.
There's an example later in this film where it didn't work well, but the twins were done really well.
Yeah.
Not too much longer after this, Mount Fuji starts erupting. So that's the thing. We don't really see a whole lot. They got like some sort of stock footage of like lava stuff.
Yeah.
But we're to understand that it's Mount Fuji being active. And then Godzilla appears.
Yeah,
Battra appears.
Is it?
But they make a comment. This is what I liked.
They came out of Mount Fuji. Were they part of that eruption?
Well, they said that Godzilla did. I don't really remember how Battra re-entered or when. Oh, it was back like at the ocean, actually, when he re-entered at the end. He came from the ocean.
Yeah.
Because remember, he kind of like rose up out of the water, and he had like a weird like thing where he sort of like auto shifted into I have wings now.
Yeah.
But without the
completely
the chrysalis
skipped the
stage or whatever.
cocoon. Yeah, the chrysalis stage, and just was.
That was kind of weird.
I'm a space moth.
He was in the ocean. So, but yeah, Godzilla. They make a comment about it, which is I want to bring this up. They basically canonized the idea of Godzilla traveling through the earth. And in this case, it was like through lava tubes. Like he fell into like the underwater lava tube, and he came out like in the volcano. And they're like, isn't it like 1,500 degrees in lava or whatever? And they're this beast is hard to understand or something. And I was like, hey, like they explored that idea in Legendary later. The idea of kaiju traveling through the earth via some method. In this case, it was lava tubes, but it could be some other like phenomenon, and they're able to use it to kind of like sort of teleport around the world rather than just the whole like swimming through the ocean thing.
Hollow Earth.
Right, but
idea.
Like again, like a step towards that.
Yeah, it's cool to see. I love little nuggets like that, little bits of like people at Legendary are taking these kind of things like, oh, we're going to build lore off of that. How do we make that cooler? How do we make that feel a little more real is the way I see it happening. Like from being somebody who loves the like, let's just spit out ideas creative process, like that has to have happened for a universe like this to exist. Like people definitely had to have just sat around and been like, okay, we've pulled all of this stuff from the past. How do we like, make it feel real, like even more real than anybody's ever attempted to before. So,
there's a kind of a scene where they've kind of all reached the city and they're all fighting. It's a really nice,
dude. That whole night,
there's a really nice, like long, like tracking shot that just gives you a sense of scale, and you can see all the kaiju, like Godzilla's walking. It's kind of backlit. It's at night. I was impressed with the scale of that miniature set, like all the detail and just how big it is. Like even if like some of the lava kind of stuff happening in the background was like, shot separately and then composite, or either way, like it's obviously a huge set, a lot of effort into that. I thought that was a cool set, and I was thinking about it, I love that this whole thing is at night. Like,
yeah, I literally have written down nighttime.
It's not necessarily a first, but
I literally have written down like nighttime plus smoke plus searchlights plus kaiju equals dream
and lava.
Like just
that's and it just works really well.
Yeah, and it also
one of my favorite scenes in like Legendary films are at night.
The Legendary ones get a little too hard on the neon, especially the first Kong one. I think where they're fighting.
Yeah, but think about 2014, like. All night.
Yeah, that's
any
true.
glow you see like really stands out. You get to play with like the mysteriousness of silhouettes and what is that? Something in the darkness is moving. Oh, it's a toe, that whole kind of a thing.
Yeah. Well, and that's my next point here too, is that we see the return, and I like mentioned it with the water fights too, but we see the return of these tight, like dark shots of Godzilla where you can't quite see all of him all the time, but you get like the shoulder and a dorsal fin, and then it like pans up to like the side of his face or something, or we get like a tight shot of his face where we're seeing eye detail, mouth movements and stuff a little bit, lots of like, especially when he roars, they're almost like undershots, so you see like teeth in the top of his mouth and all this stuff, like just really great, like and he looks like wet and shiny sometimes, especially in the night scenes, like
wet and shiny title
but like it just is, it's cool to see this kind of stuff. Like I don't know, developed, and they go back to the past and pull out these random things that were cool then and are even cooler now that they're shooting it in more higher definition ways. I don't know if you noticed this too. There was another callback to the original movie of like Mothra's doing her thing, destroying the city, and there's a news crew on top of a roof, like filming everything. They just like, they're there for like 10 seconds or something. And
like almost out the window. There's like a guy with a video camera and then a guy with a pentax.
Yeah.
Logo clearly visible.
Yeah.
Very briefly.
Yeah, just to like call back to that. And they do that in Shin Godzilla too. Not Shin Godzilla, Godzilla -1.
The other thing that works really well about the night aspect, which, I mean, the original movie, there was a lot of stuff at night, but I don't remember there being a whole lot of night before now in any of the movies. It's kind of just all broad daylight.
Yeah, other than the one that is the start of this era, the Heisei-era, rebirth of Godzilla or whatever. That one has a lot of night stuff. But yeah, a lot of the previous era is like daytime stuff.
And then if you think about some of the best stuff going forward, there's a lot of night. So it kind of goes that way.
Yeah.
I was going to say another plus to the night is, all of like the cable lines holding up Mothra, the thing with the flying scenes.
Yeah.
Can't see a thing. It's perfect.
Yeah.
You can light your characters, but you don't really see the wires that are hanging them. So there were some shots, though, where they must have changed decisions between shots or something. There's some flying shots. The lighting is super different, and it really looks bad. I'm guessing they had already shot it, and they're like, well, we're out of money. Crap. I guess it's going to just have to work. But in comparison to some of the other compositing of the film, they were like really stood out as like, you were not on the same page about what the lighting needed to be.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of like a mixed bag throughout all the flying shots, kind of in those fight scenes, where there were shots. It was alternating between really great looking shots and really bad looking ones. So
yeah,
it's tough.
Such a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the I don't know. I
don't have a lot of details about the fight stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought like it's
out there.
There's the fight and like, it's whatever. I don't know. Like it seems like they were really with this one trying to play with the idea. I'm not going to go into details of the fight. It was a fight. It was really cool. It was shot at nighttime, so it looks even cooler than normal. We just talked about all that. But like, what I took away from the fight scenes was them trying to play with the idea of Godzilla not necessarily being the good guy, but also maybe not necessarily being the bad guy. And then like, Battra has this thing that like he has to do, and Mothra is like, I agree with that, but also we've got Godzilla here, and we like, and these people are saying that they're sorry, like it's being like trying to like, I don't know, like it's not just a very solid like good versus bad kind of thing. There's like ambiguity between who are we supposed to be rooting for with these monsters? Are we supposed to be rooting for any of them?
Yeah.
Is it Mothra because she's the one who seems to maybe have any kind of common sense here? Like, or, like understands the nuance a little bit.
It is ambiguous.
But I like that a little bit. I like that it's not just
not a lot
like
of fighting,
Godzilla's
really,
here
either.
to save the day, and Mothra's going to help because she realized that Battra is, like, or whatever, like is what it could have been, like they
it's
were
definitely vague.
Yeah, I don't know.
And whatever fighting we do see, like there's some kind of close-up shots of things happening, but it's kind of hard to see what's happening.
Well,
not
I think
it's dark, but just I don't know.
What I took away from it was probably that they realized that having one ground-based and two flying-based kaiju does not work very well. Like having them fight
I can see that.
does not work very well because we don't see this happen again. but like the fact that you've got two, like these two that are just like the only time they're really effective is when they're flying, when they're not larva form anymore. It just like there's all of that, and timing comes back into it too, like how the scenes are paced, how the fighting is paced. It's a very like, sometimes it's like, what is Battra doing while Mothra is fighting Godzilla? Now, what is Mothra doing while Battra's fighting? And what is Godzilla like, I know they knocked Godzilla out, but like
not much happened really.
You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those. Vague. Yeah, very vague and just not like, I don't know. I think Legendary is doing a really good job with fight scenes of like the way that they're timed. But I think that's a modern like fighting in movies in general, action movies in general have learned how to flow in a way that kind of keeps you on the roller coaster ride a little bit better than these do.
Yeah, my only other thought about kind of that whole bit is, I mean, once we got Mothra and Battra in like full winged form, we don't really have a lot of good grounded context for their size.
Right. And again,
because they're in the air most of the time, you can't really tell how big they are.
Yeah.
Not until like the very last, one of the last few scenes of the movie where Mothra is just like parked on, like at the airport. You can see how huge she is. I'm like, that's like the first time in the entire movie that we saw how big Mothra was.
Yeah.
But before that, so
yeah, I mean, and even like even when they're trying to like pick Godzilla up or whatever, like when Battra lands on Godzilla's chest and then Godzilla's like eating him in his neck and there's like yellow blood everywhere and like Mothra lands on his tail, like, and they like
when they're carrying
him away and stuff, like, well, yeah, they're each about half the length of Godzilla. It still doesn't really give, like, you're right, it's not a very good sense of scale at all. They are. No. So
my final note, because the twins do sing more throughout the movie. Not a fan. I think having one moment in a really good song is a great way to do Mothra well. They sang like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And it seemed like multiple songs. Like they're singing different things. And I don't think it was the same song. Or pieces.
It was same song. It started to turn into a
musical, and I was like, "We don't need this. This is not."
Were slightly different about like who. Yeah, it was like kind of like who Mothra is, like righteous and blah blah blah, and then what she was gonna do, and but like, yeah, like you said, one time, nail it. That would have been great. Too much. Play the theme, have it play in the back, like be part of the score or whatever, but we don't need the singing. I agree. No more singing about moths. Title.
Interesting. What'd you rate it?
Out of 5.
You haven't rated it yet, have you?
Out of 5, I'm going to rate it right now. I don't know, dude. The kid in me feels really stupid because I used to love this movie, but it's just kind of... like, it's cool.
I was thinking about that when I was watching it. I was thinking, like, you know, when you see stuff when you're a kid for the first time, like, you're thinking about very specific things that are takeaways from the movie. And then when you're older, maybe you'll notice the plot more or things like that.
Yeah. Because I still think the fight scenes were cool and everything. But, yeah, the story was just kind of meh. So it kind of, like, it makes it like a 3 for me. Like,
this could have been a 75-minute movie.
Yeah,
with the plot that they had.
Another one of those. Like,
did not need to be an hour 40 with the plot they had.
Yeah, I agree. So
to try to stretch it out,
you tried.
I gave it a 3.5.
Tried Toho. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like 3.5. It just kind of borders on it for me. It just is like past me remembered this a lot differently, but whatever.
That's fine. There's always the Return of Mothra. Rebirth of Mothra trilogy that really up those ratings.
Mothra versus the Power Rangers, baby.
So, yeah, well, I've already touched on a few trivia things already. that I had noticed. But
dude, the only thing that really ground my gears at the end of this movie, this was my last thing of notes, was why did they wait until the end of the movie to bring up, hey, there's a meteorite headed for Earth and it's going to destroy us. And
in the future,
Mothra is just going to go fuck off right now and fly into space and take care of that for you. Like, that's it? That's all we're going to do with that plot point? That could have been the movie.
I interpreted it as
back half of the movie. Like, what?
I interpreted it as a Nick Fury moment. Like, hey, we're going to do something with that very soon.
Well,
kind of a thing. But still pretty lazy.
Yeah. Pretty lazy.
Yeah. Only other observation, everyone seemed a little bigger this movie. I think the last time we saw Mothra, a lot smaller. You know, this may have been the first time we see larval Mothra in like a big modern city. So I think they probably had to make everything a little bigger. Mm-hmm. Change the scale.
Yeah. Hey.
That's it for me.
That's a movie.
It was a movie.
This is one of the movies of all time. We didn't talk about this at the beginning, but if you're still here, if you're listening to this right now, and I would assume that you are because you, you have the opportunity to, where am I going with this? I don't know. I'm trying to talk about Patreon. We have set up a Patreon for this show, and it basically allows me to not edit the show and just kind of post it and have some fun. Brian and I talk about things like sparkling water and clothing and other things. And there's generally like 5-ish or so minutes of extra content on
like what I
side.
Spent 2.5 hours doing earlier today.
Yeah, like what he spent 2.5 hours doing earlier today.
I'll give you a hint. It was cold.
Dealing with global climate change. And yeah, we also wanted to make it like affordable though. So like we just need like 1,000 of you to chip in on this. But like for $1 a month, you can get longer versions of the show with extra little goofiness on either end of the like start and the beginning. And yeah, you can find that at patreon.com/the one about Godzilla movies. And I think I'm going to be done being a shill now. What would you like to say to take us out, oh floating head of Brian?
I didn't eat dinner and I really want fried pickles.
I pushed our recording 30 minutes so that I could eat dinner, and it was Hot Pockets. Hot Pocket. Who was that, Jim Gaffigan? Dead Pocket. Fried pickles, eh? Where are you going to get fried pickles from? Who's got the best fried pickles in the greater Elgin area?
I don't got money for that.
Are you going to make fried pickles?
No, I'm going to figure something else out.
Oh, okay.
I wish that I had fried pickles. And speaking of fried pickles, this has been the one about Godzilla movies. We will see you next time for Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla the Second. So, and also ending things with heart by.
Strap in. Clap. Great.
I'm happy with that. I'm going to stop my recording.